In this video you will discover how to use the mysterious LAT LON or Latitude Longitude button to enter coordinates into your FMC or flight management computer. You may ask, why do I need to learn how to do this? Is that I have fixes, VORs, and NDBs? Well, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. What I mean to say by that is if you've ever entered a fix into your FMC right here and you found that the fix is missing, meaning X-plane doesn't recognize it, and that happens all too often. Okay, and that's where the Latitude Longitude button comes in, because you can actually plot that fixed location in yourself. What I'm going to go over today is look at some of the programs we'll be using, and obviously we'll be using X-plane here, and we'll also be using SkyVector at skyvector.com. We'll be using Google Maps, and we'll also be using, let's see, go over here, and we'll also be using FlightAware. FlightAware is where you can get all your current flights, accurate flights that real pilots are using around the world. This is the flight that we're going to be looking at today, but we're going to focus specifically on the SID, or the departure SID here, which is the Triton 1 SID out of KDFW. As we started into the computer, we also found that the problems had already begun. Okay, so now let's show you exactly what I mean. So we'll go over to SkyVector where we've already punched it in. We can see this is the SID right here. That's all already been punched in the computer. And the Nave, JGO, Quartz were no problem, but the remaining four, 1, 2, 3, 4 here, X-plane didn't recognize any one of those four. Okay, and that's where it becomes a problem. And just to prove the point of what I'm trying to say here, so let's look at this TRRCH. We'll go over to X-plane. And there's the segment 1, segment 2, J-Girl, and Quartz. We'll go to segment number 4, which was fix. That is TRRCH, and look what happens when I hit the H. Absolutely nothing, it's blank. X-plane does not recognize that fix. Probably a new fix that's not been updated into X-plane. Well, that's not to be a concern. We're going to clear that out for now. Clear. And we're going to go back to our SkyVector here, and we're going to solve that issue by using the latitude and longitude coordinates. So I want to be able to put this into my X-plane. So what we'll do, we'll click on this little white button that's right here, and it has a drop-down box, and you'll see data underneath this GPS. Okay, so if we were to copy this right here, pull it, left-click on the button, drag it over to the right, and you can right-click and copy, or hit Control-C, like that. We're going to take that copy coordinates, and we're going to go over to Google Maps. Come over to Google Maps, take whatever's in there out, and I'm going to paste it into here by using the paste button or the Control V. Now that's the numbers that was on the coordinate box there. So once we do it, we'll hit search, and once the search, something interesting comes up. You'll see that it comes up with a new set of numbers, and those new set of numbers is 32.900167 and minus 96,337,167. All we're interested in is the first 5 digits out of each one. So let's look at the 32.900. We're going to take that number and go back over to X-plane. Go over here. We're going to select our LAT LON button, like so. And what we're interested in is this second line right here. And we'll see that our cursor, that's not a negative sign, that's just where your cursor is right here. It's right underneath the plus sign. Well, we did note that the first number was 32.900, and it is a positive number, so we'll leave that plus sign in. We're going to skip over to the next one. To do that, we'll use this button right here, which allows us to skip over one. And we're going to put in 32 point, you can see this is already moving up here, 32.900. You'll see that as soon as we hit the last zero, it automatically jumps over to the second segment of numbers, and it is a plus sign, but our next one is a negative number. So if we select this button here, it'll change it into negative. Now we do have 3 digits here, and we only have 96,337, so what we'll need to do is just jump over one by going 096, so it's 096,337. Oops, change that, 7. Sorry, my computer hung up there for a second. 7, and that's all there is to enter into that coordinate. Okay, what we're going to do is head back to SkyVector. So go back over to SkyVector and look at our next location. There was our TRRCH that we just put in. The very next one is JAYXX, so we click on that. There we go, like that. And left click, hold down, drag across like we did before. Right click, copy, go over to your Google Maps, clear out your previous entry, and paste it in and search. And we come up with 33.060. Again, we're only interested in the first 5 digits. And minus 95, writing this down, 842. Go back to Explain. Click back on our lat long button. A series numbers come up. And we want to move over 1 because we know, again, that first number is a positive number. And we're going to put in 33.060. You do want to take your time when you're doing this because you don't want to mess any of the numbers up. Looking at our second set of numbers, it's a minus number again, so we hit the minus over here and give it that leading 0 because we only have the 2 digits, so it's 095,842. 842, like so. Okay, click Next, and we'll go back and repeat this process. We're going to go back to Sky Vector. That's 2 of them that were missing. That was JOX. Now we're going over to Triton, so I'll move down the road here a bit until we see our next spot right here. There it is, right here. So click on that, and as you can see by doing these entries like these, they're getting in pretty quickly. So somebody goes, geez, that's an awful lot of work. But if you look what we're doing here, when you get the hang of this, that they take maybe 15-20 seconds to get put into the computer. So, all right. So next set of numbers, 33,552. Nobody needs the yellow bingo for that. 263.94. That's a minus 94. Okay. Go back to Explain once again. Hit the lat long button. Move over 1, and 33,552, 552 like so, goes over here. Again, minus number on the second one was, so hit your minus sign. So that is 094,263. 263. We're going to head to our last fix that we need to put in. Okay, segment 7. And again, let's go back to Sky Vector. And that's down the road a little more again. There you are. So this is the loose, which is the last one in that SID. Okay, click on that one last time. Left click, hold down the mouse button, drag it across to the right, copy it, go over to Google Maps, clear that out, paste it in, search it, write down our last set of numbers, which is 33,897 and minus 93,085. 085. There we go. Okay. One last time, head back to Explain, hit our lat long button, skip over because it's a positive number like the other bunch were. So it is 33,897. 897. Jumps over to the next, minus. Give that a leading 0, which is 093. And 085. 085, like that. Next. So after doing that, I've got all now, basically I've got all the fixes put into the computer, even though 4 of them were missing from Explain. What I would do now, and then it's certainly your choice, you can continue to enter in the rest of all the fixes and VORs and so on, but what I like to do is I like to come down here and hit this save button and save this this SID, and there's the SID right here. Save this SID, and you can see they are right here. Save the SID as the Triton 1 departure from KDFW, and I'll save that onto my computer. And the reason I do that is if I ever need to use this SID again, I don't have to go back in and enter all those coordinates back in. So that's a bit of a save. So if you save as an independent file, then you can use your load button here to load that file back up in your computer, and you can use that as your departure, and then just you save your route as a separate file again, and I do save the star as a separate file. So that's how I enter into SIDs and stars into the computer. I do want to go over one last thing if I can, and that is to what happens when a fix you put in from Explain gets screwed up. And I'll explain that in just a second. Let me just bring that up on the screen, and I'll be right with you guys. Hang tight for a second. Okay, so here we are back. And what we have is, as I was mentioning, what happens when a fix gets screwed up. And what do I mean by that? So let's go over to Sky Vector, and I'll show you exactly what happened. And this is another thing that you can use your lat long button for also. Okay, so let's go over to Sky Vector. And I've opened up the map a bit so you can actually see where this entire route is. I'm going to change this over to World High. We're on the World VFR right now, so we can just see a pictorial of the world. And we're going to go to World High, and we'll zoom back in where the aircraft actually leaves the continent and is heading over towards England. Right, when we zoom down, like so. Okay, we're going to see these two here. We've got a VOR here, which is Gander, Newfoundland, and we have this one which is hidden a little bit, so I'll move it out of the way, ELSIR. Now, as we can see, when we look at a sky vector, it gives us an option. It shows us that here it is 106 nautical miles from Gander to ELSIR. So let's try that. Let's go put these into, and here they are right here, YQX and ELSIR. So let's just go put those into X-plane and let's see what happens. Alright, so that's a VOR, and that was YQX. Should come out about 2,200 nautical miles, 2142, yeah, there we go. So 2142, yeah, that's about right, so everything is good there. So we'll go over to the next one, and just to verify here, that was ELSIR, so that's a fix. Go, watch this, ELSIR. 4,756. Well, hang on here. Let's go back and double check. 2142. We know they're about 106 nautical miles apart, and now it's 4756. I'm going to say, what's going on? Well, what we do know for a fact, there are duplicate fixes in the world, and I don't know where X-plane is picking this one from, but it's not the spot that I want, which is just off the coast there. Okay, so to prove this point, to show that how your LAT LON can actually fix this problem, so let's clear this out, because we definitely know that that's not right. So it's clear, and what we'll do, we'll go back to SkyVector and do what we did before. So we'll click on ELSIR, we'll bring up that box. So this is another feature that you can use this LAT LON for. Copy, just like we've done in the past. We'll go over to Google Maps, clear this one off, Control V, do the search. Here's our new set of numbers. Let's write those numbers down. Let's see if this works, and I will prove my point to you that how you really need to have these LAT LON. So that's minus 52007. So let's go back into X-plane. We'll click on our LAT LON for the last time, and we're going to put in this set of numbers. So we'll skip over one like we've done the previous four, and we're going to put in 49. So that's 505. 505 jumps over. Next number is a minus number, so we put the minus in, put that leading 0 in, and 52007. Now watch what happens. Look at the mileage here. 2248, skipping back one, 2142. Okay. So what we know, that whatever X-plane had was not the right location, and this now solves your problem. So you can now use that exiting fix off the continent, which most of those, just so you know, most of the exiting fixes that are on the are not in X-plane. I don't know why that is. I don't think Jupi is in there. Don't think that's in. There's one or two that are here. I think Nisco is in there. Maybe, I'm not 100% sure on that. But most of these exiting you'll find are not in X-plane for whatever reason. But now that's not a concern for you anymore, because now that you know how to enter in the latitudes and longitudes, you can use any fix that is not identified in X-plane, but it is used in the real world, and you can now enter it in. So all your SIDs, your stars, and all your fixes are now no longer a problem. So I hope this video is brought you some insight on how to use latitude and longitudes and how to enter them into your computer. I certainly hope that it becomes some benefit of you by watching this video. You guys have yourself a great day, and safe skies.